You think your horse is just being destructive, stubborn, or bored when it chews on fences, paces in its stall, or refuses to listen to you. But right now, your horse's nervous system might be sending out a desperate SOS. You are looking at a reaction to a deep internal crisis, and you don't even realize you might be the problem. There is a very high chance you are actively punishing them for simply trying to survive in a world they don't understand. Have you ever stopped to wonder what your horse actually feels when you're standing right next to them? What if your horse has been trying to warn you about a terrifying biological truth, and you've been completely blind to it because you were too busy treating them like a large riding dog? Most people think they understand their horse. They see wood chewing, pacing, or spooking, and they immediately label it as bad behavior, disrespect, or boredom. They demand obedience without ever trying to understand the reality of the highly sensitive, reactive prey animal standing in front of them. They don't. What you're about to learn will completely change the way you see your horse forever. We are going to uncover the biological and psychological reality of why your horse does what it does. Once you hear this, you will never look at their bad habits the same way again, and your relationship will permanently shift. If you truly want to understand your horse, if you want to be the calm leader they desperately need to survive, rather than just a human who forces them to work, subscribe now. Let's uncover the truth. Why does your horse chew wood? Most owners will look at a chewed-up fence, get frustrated, slap some foul-tasting paste on the wood, or strap a tight collar around their horse's neck and walk away thinking they solved the problem. But horses are prey animals, and their biology is strictly designed for constant, slow grazing out in the open. When they don't get enough roughage, or when their stress and anxiety levels spike from being stalled or separated, their stomach acid doesn't just stop. It continues to build up, splashing against the unprotected upper lining of their stomach, causing severe, burning pain. Behavioral research and equine biology suggest that wood chewing, or cribbing, is often a desperate biological attempt to produce saliva. Saliva is their body's only natural antacid. Your horse isn't trying to annoy you or destroy your expensive property. It's trying to stop the burning pain inside its stomach. It is trying to self-soothe in an environment that feels biologically unnatural, restricted, and deeply stressful. This is not disobedience. This is survival. Most people completely misunderstand this, punishing the horse for a symptom of severe physical or mental discomfort, completely ignoring the silent cry for help. Keep watching, because this next one changes everything about how you handle your horse on the ground and how you view their supposed stubbornness. Why does your horse absolutely refuse to step into a trailer or a dark wash stall? You pull the lead rope, you get frustrated, you wave a whip, and you think the horse is just being defiant and disrespecting your authority. But think about their nervous system and thousands of years of evolution. Their brain is hardwired to detect predator traps. A dark, enclosed metal box with an unstable floor and no clear, visible exit is the ultimate death trap for a prey animal. In the wild, stepping into a dark cave means you don't come out. Your horse isn't rejecting your authority or trying to make you late for your show. It's trying to stay alive. When they plant their feet and widen their eyes, they are looking at you and asking, "Are you absolutely sure this dark box won't kill us?" If you get angry, tense, and aggressive in response, you actually prove to their nervous system that the environment is indeed unsafe. After all, if their leader is acting erratic and angry, there must be danger. Your horse is simply trying to create safety. This is where most horse owners get it completely wrong, and it destroys trust instantly. Why does your horse suddenly spook at a corner of the arena that it has walked past 100 times before? You roll your eyes, yank the reins, and call them silly or dramatic. But a horse's vision and brain are totally different from ours. They have blind spots directly in front of and behind them, a shadow shifting, a slight change in the wind, or a different angle of the sun turns a familiar corner into an unknown, terrifying threat. Their nervous system is designed to bypass logical thought and detect danger instantly, react first, think later. If a prey animal waits to logically figure out what the moving shadow is in the wild, they die. When your horse spooks, it is not being dramatic, and it isn't trying to unseat you or ruin your ride. It is experiencing a massive, involuntary spike of adrenaline and fear. They are desperately looking for a grounded leader. They are hoping you will be the one to breathe, relax, and say, I see the danger, and I've got us covered. Instead, we usually punish them for their survival instinct. The next one is critical, and it reveals a heartbreaking truth about how we keep these magnificent animals. Why does your horse pace heavily back and forth in its stall, or weave its head repetitively from side to side? People brush these off as simple, stable vices or bad habits picked up from other horses. A horse is a nomadic animal built for vast movement, open plains, and instant flight. When a prey animal experiences deep psychological stress, their absolute first instinct is to move their feet and run. When you trap them in a small box and they feel anxiety, whether from isolation, lack of food, or lack of visual herd contact, that massive kinetic survival energy has nowhere to go. Your horse is not just bored. It is physically trapped with a highly reactive nervous system screaming at it to flee from whatever is causing the stress. The pacing or weaving is a tragic physical manifestation of psychological captivity. Your horse is desperately trying to regulate a nervous system overload through repetitive movement. We've covered how they react to their unnatural environments and internal pain, but what about how they interact directly with you? What does it actually mean when they pin their ears when you approach with the saddle, or suddenly turn their back to you when you walk into the pasture? The psychological truth behind how they view your intentions is even heavier, and it might break your heart. We left off with a heavy question. What does it actually mean when your horse pins its ears when you approach with the saddle, or suddenly turns its back to you when you walk into the pasture? The psychological truth behind how they view your intentions might break your heart, but understanding it is the only way to truly fix the relationship. Let's look at the saddling process. You walk up with the saddle pad, and before you even touch their back, their ears pin flat against their neck, their tail swishes violently, or they bare their teeth. You might think they are just being grumpy, lazy, or giving you an attitude because they don't want to work. You tell them to knock it off, give them a sharp poke, and tighten the girth anyway. But let's look at the biology. Horses are incredibly stoic animals. In the wild, showing pain or weakness makes you an immediate target for predators. They are absolute masters at hiding physical discomfort. So, when a horse openly displays aggressive or defensive body language at the sight of your tack, they are practically screaming in the only language they possess. Your horse isn't throwing a tantrum or being disrespectful. It is anticipating intense pain. Whether it's undiagnosed stomach ulcers, an ill-fitting saddle pinching their spine, kissing spine, or deep muscular soreness, their nervous system is bracing for impact. They are associating your arrival not with leadership or partnership, but with physical suffering. This is not defiance. This is a desperate plea for relief, and every single time we ignore it, we teach them that their voice doesn't matter, forcing them to either shut down completely or eventually explode. And what about when you walk into the pasture, halter in hand, and your horse simply turns its back and walks away? This is the behavior that hurts our feelings the most. We take it personally. We think, after everything I do for you, you won't even let me catch you. You are being stubborn. But remember, horses do not operate on human concepts of guilt, obligation, or spite. They operate entirely on energy, pressure, and intention. When you march into that field, focused only on catching them, putting them to work and getting your ride in before the sun goes down, you are acting exactly like a predator locking onto its prey. You are bringing an intense, demanding, focused energy directly into their safe space. Your horse isn't rejecting your love. It is instinctively moving away from predatory pressure. They are trying to find peace and preserve their energy. To them, your agenda feels like a threat to their current state of calm. If you change your energy, drop your agenda, and simply walk into the field to share their space without demanding anything, you instantly change from a stalking predator into a passive herd member. This brings us to the most profound realization of all, the moments of true connection that we so often overlook or misunderstand. Have you ever walked quietly into the barn to find your horse lying flat on its side, fast asleep in the shavings, and as you approach the stall door, they don't scramble to jump up, but instead they stay down, maybe even taking a deep, shuddering breath as you stand next to them? To a prey animal, lying completely flat on the ground is the most dangerous, vulnerable position imaginable. It takes immense physical effort and precious seconds to get back up on their feet. In the wild, a sleeping horse is a dead horse if a predator attacks. Because of this, they will only enter deep REM sleep when they are absolutely certain that their environment is secure and that someone else is standing guard. When your horse stays lying down in your presence, they are giving you the highest honor a prey animal can possibly give. Your horse isn't just taking a lazy nap. It is literally placing its life in your hands. It is saying, "I trust you to keep the monsters away while I close my eyes." This is not casual affection. This is the rawest form of biological surrender. Or think about those rare, quiet moments when you are walking in the arena or out in the pasture without a lead rope and you feel that warm breath on your shoulder. You look back, and your horse is matching your every step. You stop, they stop. You turn, they turn. No pressure, no ropes, no force, just a massive, powerful animal choosing to stay in your shadow. As humans, we desperately want to romanticize this. We tell ourselves, "My horse loves me." But the biological truth is actually much deeper, much more profound, and much more difficult to earn than human love. A 1,000-pound prey animal, equipped with 1,000,000 years of survival instincts telling it to constantly flee from danger, has looked at you and made a conscious biological decision. A horse doesn't follow you because it loves you in the human sense. It follows you because it trusts you not to harm it. It views you as a source of absolute safety in a terrifying, unpredictable world. You have become its sanctuary. When we stop forcing our horses to fit into our human expectations and start listening to the silent biological language they speak every second of the day, everything changes. We stop seeing stubbornness, and we start seeing fear. We stop seeing disrespect, and we start seeing pain. We stop demanding blind obedience, and we start earning true, life-altering partnership. To a horse, trust is quite literally life or death. Every single day, they are analyzing their environment and making a choice for their own survival. And when they lower their head, soften their eyes, and choose to stay with you when they have every instinct to run, they are choosing you over their own fear. Share this with someone who truly wants to understand their horse. Because the moment we change the way we look at them, the way they look at us changes forever.